Good evening, everyone. Tonight I've got a little flip through of Starfox64 instruction booklet. This is a Nintendo 64 game, hence the 64. And this is definitely one of my favorite games for sure. Pretty much the Super Nintendo game, and just made it a million times better. If you ever play the Super Nintendo one and then go to this one, it will just blow your mind. I mean, it blew my mind. Because the Super Nintendo, I mean, that was like bonkers for that to run on that system. And then they made this 3D version of that game, which is absolutely amazing. Love this game. Got some contents to go through. It shows you how to hold the controller, which is pretty funny. Connecting the controller. And this is pretty much the whole prologue of it. I might read some of it. The Lilat system. The small group of planets enjoyed years of prosperity. The inhabitants lived in peace, that is, until Andros came into view. Andros was born and raised on Quinaria, fourth planet of the system, and grew to be a brilliant scientist. Yes, apparently he was a little crazy though. So here are all the characters. Fox McCloud. That's pretty much who you play as. Star Fox team, you play as him. Peppy Hare. I love the other characters here, they're pretty cool. Rob64. From the mothership. You pretty much get support. Yeah, support from them. You can ask for like little support boxes or something. Your R-Wing. It's pretty much your plane. Then there's Slippy Toad and Falco Lombardi. That is hilarious. I don't think I remembered his last name at all. I would just call him Falco. Landmaster. I think there's a few land-based levels in this game, and those are not my favorite. I much prefer the R-Wing ones. And then the Great Fox. It's pretty much the main ship that you use to travel between planets. Pretty cool though. And then these characters kind of help you along the way if you keep them alive in the levels. Controller information pretty much shows you how everything is mapped out here. Control stick and the buttons, and C buttons usually for like camera angles, and oh yeah, and the turbo. I forgot about the turbo there. Brake, laser, all that good stuff. These are the settings. I think they have this little training mode so you can learn how to do some of the moves in the R-Wing, which is pretty cool. And the main game is pretty much the story mode there. I don't think I ever really played the versus mode much. I preferred the story myself. So the main game map screen is pretty much all the planets that are in that Lilat system, I'm pretty sure is what it is. But you don't play all of the planets. What happens is you kind of start breaking off and going into like the middle area shows you your on screen. Oh yeah, and difficulty level. Blue. If it's blue, it's easy. Like the line. If it's blue, it's easy. If it's yellow, it's medium. And if it's red, it's hard. So yeah, I think the top one was kind of harder than the other ones, but I think I've gone through all the different ways. It's been so long since I've played, I don't remember. But I do love this game. I love to play it. It's been a long time though. 3D Skull, all range mode. All range mode I think usually kicked in when you had like boss fights and stuff. I think that was pretty much it though. Then there's the on-screen display, you know, your shield, your boost, how many hits you've had, so enemies you've killed, and how many R-wings you have for your lives, shield rings, smart bombs, and your enemy shield. This is like the boss meter. This usually shows up if you have a boss. R-wing power-up items. There's different power-up items. So lasers, which is good because you only start off with like a single laser. So every time you grab it, you can upgrade your laser. So then it's like dual twin lasers. And then you get the blue version of it. So it's like a green one first, and then the blue version is the hyper laser, and that's the best one. It kills the enemies pretty quick. Then you can pick up some more bombs. Supply rings, usually for your shield. There's like silver ones. I think there's some gold ones too. And then there's like the special star ones, like the metal supply ones. Oh yeah, there's the gold ones. So the gold ones are the best ones. And then you'll have like a maximum shield, which is pretty cool. Wing repair. Sometimes you might bust a wing if you take too much damage or on that wing and stuff, and there sometimes pops up little repair ones. So like this one, and it makes it really hard to fly, so you definitely need both of those wings on there. These little containers. Oh yeah, so sometimes you'll get like a little incoming transmission from Rob64, and I'll send you like a little care package. I'll have some like random stuff in there. So your team will join you on some of these. Well, actually, I think on most of these missions, unless they get hurt and they can't join you anymore, they'll wind up in the repair bay. But it'll tell you if it's Pepe, Slippy, or Falco. And sometimes they'll tell you that they need help, and then if you help them out, they'll stick around with you in the level and help you with the boss fight, which is pretty cool. But yeah, if they take too much damage, then they'll leave the battle, and they'll have to go and get repaired. But then you won't have them for the next stage, unfortunately. I don't think I remembered their special powers. It's been a while. But, oh yeah, Peppy can tell you the enemy weakness, so Peppy can always tell you how to approach the boss fight, tell you what to hit. Falco, if you have Falco with you, you can travel the routes with a higher difficulty level. I try not to go through the too difficult ones. And then Slippy will analyze the strength of the bosses and show you their shield. So if you don't have Slippy, you won't be, you don't have Slippy, you won't be able to tell and see the boss gauge, which is a little annoying, so I usually try to have Slippy at least so I can tell how high that boss's health is. And this is the versus mode. I did not really play versus mode. Point match, battle royale, or time trial. I said, I never really played these battle modes. I much preferred playing the story. But the point matches for the number of machines that you shoot down. Battle Royale is usually, the last one standing. And then, I don't remember what the time trial was, I forgot. So whoever takes out the most machine in the time, but if you do get shot down, your enemies reset to 0, so it's a little nuts. And you can set the timer from 1 to 5 minutes to play those battles there. And then they give you some little information on there. Some little information at the end there. But, little secrets of the map screen. But, yeah, you can keep Falco alive and fly through the 7 stone archways. Fly through every warp gate. So, I don't think I remember having the manual, but yeah, I used to try and get through the Meteos this way, and you could go through some of the different planets and different branches to the different planets if you followed some of these directions. Kind of like secrets of each level to get to a different part of the map, which is pretty cool. And then, of course, don't forget the rumble pack, because all that fighting, you want your controller to rumble, which is kind of funny. This is like the really early rumble packs. Now everything's all built in, but I mean, this thing was heavy too. Let me know if you ever played it in 64 with the rumble pack. This thing just weighed your controller down. It's kind of crazy.